All right, today I'm going to be talking about the greatest decisions you can make and how you can make those decisions. The way that anybody should make a decision is so important. You need a framework for making decisions in your life, especially those big ones. Because here's the truth. Nobody knows your life better than you do, okay? And you can ask all the advice from your parents, from your siblings, to your best friends, from people you look up to. The truth is, they don't know your life. They don't know what God is calling you for. They don't know. You can ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT will tell you a couple things. ChatGPT don't know what it's like to live your life. It's not feeling the same things you're feeling. It doesn't have the same purpose you have. Neither will the internet, Safari, Google. None of it will. When it comes to making decisions, there's only one person you can trust. And it's not even yourself. I know it sounds crazy. It's God, okay? The best decisions you can make are the ones between you and God. When you are asking Him to show you your purpose, nobody has the answers to your life. I do this sometimes. I go and search on the outside for things, for the answers. The outside doesn't have any answers. It's God that has the answers. Or it's my actions that have the answers. I just need to execute on something. I just need to make a decision that God's been calling me on for a long time. So the best decision you can make is to make decisions based on what God wants for your life, okay? Have a framework for making decisions. Say if you're making this decision based on money, okay, that's a bad decision. Unless purpose is aligned with money, then it's a good decision. That's one of my decision-making frameworks. Another thing is, if people want me to make this decision more than I want to make this decision, that's a bad decision if I go with what everyone else is saying. So it's important to have a framework for decisions. Before you can even build a framework, before you can even start into that, what you need to do is create standards for your life. You need to self-reflect. You need to look at what you believe in. What are your standards? What do you stand for? What does Enoch stand for? What do you stand for? Get incredibly clear on that. When you get clear on what you stand for, it's hard to deviate from that because you know exactly what it is. Every time you deviate, you're willingly making that decision. So set some standards for yourself. Who are you? What are you not going to do? What are you always going to do? You need to have a baseline for who you are. Because if you don't set that baseline, I'm not limiting you by telling you need a baseline for who you are. I am not. I'm actually freeing you, because if you don't set the baseline, somebody else will. Whether it's your employer, whatever it is, they're going to set it for you. So you have to set a standard for who you are. Because if you don't, other people are going to set that standard. You don't want other people to set that standard because they aren't feeling the consequences of your decisions. They can tell you to do something, and they might have their best interest. They might have your best interest in mind, but they don't feel the same thing that you feel when you make that decision, when you go and take that action. Nobody understands it but you, okay? And that does not make you alone. It makes you strong because you know you can lean on God to make these decisions. So there's big decisions coming up in your life, and if you don't have a framework, if you don't know who you are, you're going to make the wrong ones. If you have standards and you have a framework for decision making, you're a lot less likely to go wrong. So guys, that's my advice to you, especially if you're a younger guy. Set some standards for your life. Figure out who you are. Figure out what you stand for. Write it all down on a list, on a sheet of paper. Once you get that figured out, it's going to be hard to deviate from that, because you know, you have it on paper what you stand for, and from there you can start to build a decision-making framework that'll help you guide you to make the greatest decisions in your life.